Yeah, good morning. I wanted to do a quick follow-up on the water system now that we've had some really cold weather. I just got home from work and checking things out this morning. The water system, I was watching, for those that don't follow it, Our Wyoming Life out there in Wyoming, of all places. They were talking about some water misers. I think they are the water system that he's trying out, trying to improve his water system, keep it from freezing. We're fortunate when we built this whole operation. There's my wood chip pile. I'm digging into it. That we were able to buy a waterer, a heated waterer for the cattle. So I no longer use the overflow from the chicken coop for them. But I do, my wife dropped some eggs in there when she was last night trying to throw extra eggs to these guys. Our eggs that are over a week or two old, she throws to the pigs to eat. Well, that's our water system for the pigs. As you can see, it's a steady trickle coming through the 5/16. I haven't even shielded this. Normally I would put like a 1/2 inch black plastic or something over it. And that's coming out of there. But because it's flowing a steady stream and it comes out of the chicken coop, which is usually about 45 degrees, and it comes in through that pipe right there. And that likewise has that sap tubing, that blue tubing, run through this pipe, comes down here, goes through a piece of conduit and into that riser right there. In there is a valve that I have cracked and gated down to 5/16. So I've just got it cracked and it's running a trickle through that pipe, through that blue pipe that you saw over by the pigs. That right there. So because it's flowing a steady flow and the water coming from the house, all on the ground, all the way out here to that Richie waterer right there, through 1 inch black plastic, 4, 5, 6 feet deep in places. And then over to here and to this hydrant. But right there, it splits down and goes to 5/16 maple tubing. And then it's sleeved through this black, like I showed you. It comes into the chicken coop, where I had to get a little bit creative. I haven't had a chance to change the plumbing around. This is all new last week. It comes in through that black plastic, and it's a mess in here because of the chickens, of course. Loops around. I ran extra because I wasn't sure where I was going. I ran a T right there, but I couldn't get it to flow equally. I was getting too much out there and nothing in here because this is for the chickens, and that little Taco circulator keeps it circulating for the chickens. There's a steady flow. Water is the bottom number, so 38 degrees. There's a heater underneath there. There's also one aquarium heater in there as well that helps maintain the temperature. And then out to the pigs, it goes that way, out through the other chicken coop. So that just trickles all the time. And because it's flowing, it doesn't freeze. Now, I guess it could be argued we're wasting water. Yeah, we probably are. But as opposed to trying to run more heaters and come up with a way to heat, I can pump an awful lot of water for a 500 watt tank heater for these pigs, and then have to deal with filling it and so on and so forth. So there's their steady flow of water. There's the pig hut I built the other day. Hard to see in there, but they got a whole bunch of wood chips and hay and whatnot. So, and as far as freezing, let's see, we had I think 5 below last night. Not last night, night before when I left to go to work. We had about 5 below, and this was in no danger of freezing at that point. It still wasn't acting like freezing, and as long as that's moving, we're having an issue. And of course, all the runoff runs under the snow here and down this concrete pad to the level lip spreader we designed for the NRCS down there. So yeah, build some ice underneath there. but once it's got a little snow on it and it's got a crust across it, the water flows underneath with no problem, and we don't have any issues. So that's what we're doing for watering system. Obviously not for everybody, but if you have a decent well, flowing water is probably a better bet if you have a place to get rid of it than heaters and hoses and refilling tanks and so on and so forth. Those yard hydrants are nice, like that one there, but they do freeze up and they cause issues. If you obviously it's not the time of year to try it, but if you're going to put in a water system, put in a riser, go down 4 or 5 feet, run all your connections into that so you have access to it, and once you have it trickling, you won't have any issues. You should run like a 6-inch or a 4-inch drain pipe. If this didn't have the runoff right here, I would put a drain pipe, do a bunch of stone right there, and perhaps put a bunch of hay around it so the water just runs into the stone and runs out a drain pipe and daylight it down there somewhere. But for this operation, it worked out just fine for this. When we build our new chicken coop and pig house over here, it'll be tied to this pad, and then I'll make the decision if I run a separate drain, like a 6-inch excuse me, HDP drain pipe out there and daylight it and run some drains in the floor, or just run it all on the surface out and right down this. The trouble with the drain lines obviously is you've got wood chips, you got sawdust, you got manure. You really need some sort of catch basin you can clean out, and sometimes it's easier just to keep it on the surface and slope your floor so it goes to one corner. And the advantage of this also is obviously the chickens that are out here can get to it. They have their own water in there like I showed you, but they do like to come out here. I gotta go fish those eggs out of that damn thing. That's gonna be chilly. But that has been there for a week now, and we haven't been above freezing for over a week. And that's what we have for ice. You know, that little temporary dish that I had to use, I had it so I used it, hasn't crusted over yet with that water flowing in there. I probably can gate this down a little bit more. I may go get a needle valve and gate it down just a hair more in that riser over there. Slow it down just a hair, but I wanted to play with this and see what we've got. Before I do that, I may check this temperature and just see what we're running before I do, and make sure we're maintaining that temperature. So anyway, that's what's happening on the farm. That's what's happening here. Hope you enjoy the videos. I hope this helps somebody and you get some ideas from it. I stole the circulator idea from somebody else on YouTube, so I'm just passing it on. It wasn't my original idea. I modified theirs, and that's what it's all about. See something that that you can adapt and utilize and go from there. It's all about taking other people's ideas and making them better, I think, and that's what we're trying to do. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I'd like to think this is an improvement over some options. And anyway, I need to go up on the mountain and feed the deer and go work on some firewood, but that's what's happening here. And thanks for watching. Hope it gives you a little bit of help.